from Bell'Uncinetto. I'm Christina, and I'm so glad that you're here with me today. If you're new, welcome in. If you're returning, welcome back. No matter how long you've been here, I always appreciate your time. Today, we are going to be winding some yarn. I am by no means an expert at this, so I just need to wind it because I'm working on a project, and I thought, well, since I need to be in here and I need to do this, I can chat with you all while I do it. Now, if only I could find, there they are, these little snips so I can snip the yarn. So, this yarn that I'm winding is for the Manfella Mouse project number 2 that I am doing. This is for Sam. If you don't know, hold on, I can't do 2 things at once. Okay. If you don't know what the Manfella Mouse is, there is a playlist on my channel as well as Sam's channel to walk you through what we're doing. But essentially, we are doing 4 projects that we wanted to do for the year, and we are doing them as our children draw for the other person. So, for example, my first one that I did was this amigurumi, and it was a Label My Library pick. So anything that I had already labeled in my library I could choose to do. I chose to do the amigurumi, and my daughter did not pick that out for me. Max, Sam's youngest, actually picked it out, and that was what I did. When I finished that, I told Sam I need Max to pick another one for me. And she did, and one of the other things that we decided was to do something for the other person. And we both decided on a pillow. So I'm working on that because that was the second one that Max chose, was the pillow form for his mom, essentially. I'm not going to be able to get that out. Okay, let's see how this goes. And Sam has already finished her first one. She has done something different than me, so my daughter picked different options for her. And we do those by, we do a short where our child picks, and then we notify the other person that the short is up, and they watch it and they know what they're doing. So I have been working on the pillow, and I've already done a video on the pillow, like what I'm going to be doing, but I thought I had enough yarn. So I did 2 skeins of yarn. Well, they were hanks, and I did them, and I wound them off camera, and I was like, oh yeah, that'll be plenty, 1 for each side. Well, I ran out. I had 4 rounds left on the first ball once I caked it up, and then I thought, well, if I ran out 4 rounds short, then I'm gonna run out 4 rounds short on the next one, and I thought I'm gonna need another hank. So I thought, this time, let me do it with you all. So that's what I'm going to do. I hope that you can hear me okay. I tried to, maybe I can move the mic a little bit closer. Let me see. I don't want to mess with the sound too much, but maybe I can move the mic just a little bit closer to me. I don't know if that changes the sound at all, but I want you all to kind of do this with me. We'll just see how this goes. Okay. And is it gonna work? Is it too far? It might be too far. Let me move it. Because that's stretched awfully thin. Move it a little bit closer. So, what have you guys been up to? What are you working on? What are you doing right now? Let me see. Why is it not spinning? Oh my goodness. It's just so slow. Oh my Lord. There we go. Maybe. Oh my goodness, you guys. This is like insane. Let me see if I can move it a little bit closer. It's pulling it so tightly. I don't want to stretch the yarn out too much. Okay, let's see if that works. That might be too close. No? Maybe I should have done it on the other side. I already have this set up here. I don't want to move it. Guys, I think I just broke it. I do, I think I just broke it. This is just popped right off. Yep. I just broke it. Okay, well, I guess I'm doing it by hand. I need a new one now. Okay, so we take this off. Not that. Take this off. Now we have to do it the hard way. Yay me. Right? Okay. How do we get this off without having to completely redo everything? I don't think I have that choice. Doo-dah, doo-dah. I don't. Okay, so we have to do it this way. We'll just do it this way. Because I broke my ball winder. Yay me! Okay, well, it was going very nicely until I broke it, but that's okay. Anyway, I hope that you all are doing great. I hope that you are having a wonderful day whenever you're watching this. It's just the way my luck has been going recently. I have had not like life-threatening terrible things happen, but just like some things that I wish hadn't happened, and now I don't know. They say, you know, that you get this, there's a term, right? A string of bad luck. And there's definitely been a string happening for me. So I keep wondering when it's going to be over. When is all the bad luck going to stop? When are all the bad things going to stop? Because it's just been in succession, you know, the past week. Not that there haven't been some great moments, don't get me wrong. We were on spring break, and so it was nice to have a break from work. It was nice to just relax and all of that, but it seems like every time I would sit down and be like, okay, I can just chill now, right? Like, everything is just okay. something would happen. And it would rattle me, upset me, scare me sometimes, frustrate me for sure. So yeah, that was, it's been an experience. But the day that I'm filming this is Sunday. I don't know that I'll get all of my videos recorded for the week today. This will go up tomorrow for me, so Monday. But that means I'm back at work. So I'm hoping that I can get back into a routine, and maybe by being back in the routine, some of the things that were happening won't happen, because I'm just working and coming home every day and not doing, I wasn't doing things that were terrible. I was just like relaxing. Like, we went to the beach. We went to, we went out to eat. We went for a drive. Like, all these things, right? And things just kept happening. So, there are times when it's like, you shouldn't leave the house. You should just stay home. I felt like that this past week. I should just stay home. But, like I said, we're going to be back to work, and back to school, back to routine. So that will be helpful. And I have completed half of my chores for today. So the weekend is usually when I do all of my laundry, and I also meal prep for the week. However, one of the bad things that happened, right, was I lost all my food from my fridge and my deep freeze. We had a power outage and storms, and it was out for a significant amount of time. So I had to throw everything away and start over. One of the good things about that is groceries aren't too terribly expensive at an Italian grocery store. So I was able to restock my fridge and my freezer for under $200 US. But I didn't get everything, right? I didn't replace every single thing that I had in my fridge, but I was able to get the basics. I was able to get, I'm actually gonna, now that I don't have to sit or stand here and wind this, let me sit down with you all. And let's bring the mic back over here. And I will tilt the camera down. Sorry if that bothers you, moving the camera. But now that I don't have to be right there, I can sit here with you all like I normally do. But I was able to get, like the regular stuff for the fridge. And the other good thing is that all the stuff that you keep in your freezer thinking, oh well, I'll use that, or you keep in your fridge thinking, I'm gonna finish that jar of sauce or whatever, and then you don't. All of that got thrown away. So I got to deep clean my fridge and my deep freeze, so that was fun. But I did lose all of the stuff that I had stored. So meal prep this week will be not so easy, because some of the things that I keep in my fridge and my freezer, I normally in my freezer I have basically, in Italy they call like a sofrito. So in Italy it's celery, onions and carrots. In other places of the world, it might be onions and bell peppers, but it's just like a base of flavors that you would put into a dish. And so in Italy, it's called a sofrito. And so I have some already chopped up in freezer bags, like together, so that I can just grab a handful of carrot, celery, and onions and throw it in a pan, saute it up. So I can start that. And then I also have had bags of peppers and onions and celery just chopped up, stored in the freezer. And I have, like if I'm making a stew or soup or something like that, I have chunks of onions that I have frozen, chunks of celery, things like that. Just because I need them to add the flavor, and especially with the celery, because it's been frozen, I'll fish it out, like we don't eat that part, because it's, if I'm doing it in a soup, because it's big chunks, and celery does not look pretty if you freeze it and then throw it in a soup. The flavor's still there, that's not the problem, but it looks god awful. So I had all of that stored in the freezer, and then I buy meat usually in bulk, and then I divide it because it's just my daughter and I. So for example, one package of like ground beef, or ground anything, pork, turkey, chicken, doesn't matter. I can divide that into 2, and that will be 2 meals for my daughter and I, because we don't eat a whole lot. Like I'm not feeding a big family like I have in the past. So, definitely when my son comes, I have to take out 2 packages of ground meat, or I have to take out 2 bags of chicken, or, so basically double, because he usually eats essentially what both of us would eat in one sitting. And I usually don't have leftovers when he's here. But when it's just my daughter and I, right, I will have my portion, she will have her portion, and I usually have some left over for lunch. So it's usually not, it goes pretty far. And by adding things like the peppers, the onions, the carrots, the celery, whatever, by adding those things, you get more content in your meal with less actual like meat. So like if I'm making tacos or like taco meat, something like that, I'll put peppers and onions in there, and usually some garlic, but I'll throw that in there, and then half a package of ground beef goes way farther than using the whole package with just seasonings, just spices. I can add those things, and then it feels like I have more food than I used. So, but I don't have that, right? Because my stash, so to speak, was too thought out. So that was one of the major things that I've been dealing with over spring break. So that, like I said, was very frustrating. But like I said, on the bright side, I did get to clean out my deep freeze and my freezer. So I'm gonna unwind some more of this. I'm sorry about that noise, you guys. I hate that I broke my ball winder. Another thing that happened, my daughter, she has a tablet, like just like a computer tablet. It's an Android tablet. My mom got for her, against my wishes, as grandparents often do. My daughter was 3. Now, I don't let my daughter use it typically outside of the house, unless we're going on long road trips, which we went on a road trip and her tablet stopped charging. And I mean, she brought other things to do with her, but she kind of looks forward to having her tablet when we go on road trips, right? Because she likes to take pictures. She likes to take videos of things. And I can't always pull over, you know, so like if she sees something, she can take her own photos. She can do all of that herself. So she was very, very upset that it wouldn't charge. We'll come to find out, she has a computer also for school, and she was using her computer charger to charge her tablet. Now, normally that wouldn't be a problem if the items were made, if they were kind of a similar generation. But my daughter is, my daughter's tablet, like I said, she's had since she was 3 years old. She's going to be 10 soon. So, that tablet is at least 7 years old. So, oh, Jesus. I'm sorry, guys. I don't want to rip the yarn. Okay, so that tablet is at least 7 years old. So she's had it for a bit, and nope, there it goes again. Because the charging is so much faster now. So like her computer she just got last summer, because she needs more. She has homework and stuff that she has to do at home, and her tablet, 1, is old, and 2, wasn't going to cut it for the things that she was going to need to do, like type and do things like that for school. And they're not allowed to bring the devices that they use at school home. So she wasn't required necessarily to have a computer, but it does take my daughter longer to do things, like reports and things. So my mom and I we went in together to get her a computer because we knew that she was going to need it. And she's used it a ton for school. It just, like I said, it takes her a lot longer to do things. And sometimes if they're writing, you know, a report in class and they get, I don't know, a week or so to do it, she might take 2 weeks to get it done just because it takes her that much longer to get it done. So I try to supplement at home and help her with things that I can. So when she got the computer, I thought, okay, great, that's gonna help her. But she started using the charger for her computer on her tablet, and it's a lightning charger. And I know some people will say, oh, that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's the same or a similar generation of product. But because hers is not, it definitely matters. Because now, when she goes to try to plug it in, even with the original, and we do still have the original charger, like I said, I don't, oh my goodness, I don't let the tablet out of the house too much. She doesn't take it with her a whole lot of places. And I think that's why she's had it for so long, and why we do still have like the original charger and things. She, like when you go to plug in the original charger or any other charger that's not the computer charger, it gives like a warning sign that it's not being charged properly, which it shouldn't do that. I could understand if like the tablet charger was old itself and damaged. But seeing as how that's not the only charger that it's struggling with all chargers that are not her laptop charger, I told her, I was like, I think, because I told her not to do it, but she was like, it just charges so much faster, Mama. And I was like, that's great and all, but it's too old. Like, the tablet is too old to do that with. And like most kids, she either didn't care or thought she knew better than me. And I think that's what has destroyed the charging capabilities on her tablet. So, I'm not necessarily looking to get her a new one, but it was just, like I said, part of that string of bad luck that's happened, because I was like trying to, help her with that little bit of independence by being able to take her own photos and do her own things. And that, she doesn't have that anymore. So she does have, which she bought with her own money because she saved up for it, one of those Instapics, like the brand new, they're not brand new now, but the newer Polaroid cameras. But when I tell you, the conditions have to be just right for those pictures. Like, and I try to tell her again, because I have dealt with Polaroid cameras. My grandfather loved photography, and he had all kinds of cameras, and he would let me, play with the exposures and do all of that. So I know that the lighting has to be, pretty perfect for a Polaroid to turn out exactly the way that you want it, and you have to be still when you're taking the picture. You can't snap it and then move the camera right away. You have to wait until you get the film starts popping out of the camera. So, like, I'm trying to show her all of these things, and she's getting mad that her pictures aren't turning out. And then, of course, the film for those things. And I don't know, maybe I'm a little too hard on her, but I make her save up money for that, because one thing of those little films is like $20, and you only get a package of 10. And if you want any of the fancy ones that have like the color edges, or if you want anything that has a design or any of that on the outside of the picture, that's even more money. And I'm like, that's a lot. And while I want you to have that, if that's what you want, I also think that it's a lot of money to be spending. And so she does have that, but she has learned, right, because it is very expensive, and I won't buy her that film, because I didn't buy her the camera either. And I absolutely put my foot down and told my mom not to do it, because I read the reviews, I saw how much it was going to cost over time with the film and all of that, and I was like, if she wants it, she can save up her money. And she did. She saved up her money, and she bought that camera, and she was so proud of herself, and I was proud of her for saving all that money, because that camera was like $80. So, and she saved up money for the film, and she was smart, and she got the package with just the plain white film for the camera, but it was 6 packages, so 60 pictures, and because it was a large pack, like, she bought in bulk, it was only $40 instead of the $20 for every 10. So, I mean, she was smart. She looked and she paid attention, and she did all of that. She found the good deal, and I was proud of her for that. But she has learned, right, that it is a significant amount to try and do that. So, you know, she did bring her camera along on our road trip and took some pictures with that too. But again, she was kind of disappointed with the way that some of them turned out, because she, it was cloudy. On one of them, she moved, and then the thing that she was trying to get a picture of flew off. So she was upset. And I mean, I have my phone and I'm taking pictures as well. So, because we were stopped, I wasn't driving at that point. But, so I mean, I have some pictures, but she was like, well, you can't even send them to me, because she would put them on her tablet and use that as like her background or her screensaver or whatever, you know. And I was like, well, no, you're right, I can't, because your tablet doesn't work anymore. But I don't know. It's just been a whole lot of stuff. So, I mean, we're okay, we're good, we're fine. We're not starving, we're not wanting for anything. It's just frustrating, you know. And I was hoping that just coming down here and winding some yarn with you all wouldn't be stressful. But as you can see, I have broken my yarn winder, and my yarn is now a tangled mess. And this has not been an easy process, nor has it been relaxing. I mean, it's nice to talk to you all, don't get me wrong. But this has not been relaxing in the least. Because it was supposed to just be, let's just wind some yarn and chat, right? Let's just hang out while I can make this yarn ball so I can finish the pillow for Sam, and I can go on about what I need to do. It doesn't look like it's going to be that easy, does it? I'm going to get it done, though. So, if you have kids at home, have they already had their spring break? If they did, what did they do? If you don't have kids at home anymore, what did you do when they did have spring break? And if you don't live in the U.S., I know that in the U.K. and in other countries, you get breaks from school. So you get, like, in some countries, it's like, you know, you get the break for Easter. So if you get, like, an Easter break, like, what do you normally do? Do you try to take time off with them so that you can do something with them while they're out of school? Do you try to, I know that if I had been working, so there are, you know, families, of course, that their parents aren't teachers and they have to work. I know my mom had to work when I was in school, and when I would have spring break, she was working. So, I mean, we did stuff on the weekends, and sometimes she was able to take off a day or two, you know. But it was her vacation time. You know, she would take a day of vacation or something, and we'd go do something. But she didn't usually have all the time off with me like I do with my kids. But I would go to daycare when I was young. And if I had to work, there's a child care on base, and they had all sorts of activities planned, but you have to pay for it. And despite what people think, a lot of people think, I don't get paid for the breaks that I have. Like, yes, I have spring break, right, but I don't get paid for that break. I get paid for the number of school days that I work. So if my contract, let's say, this isn't the number of days, but let's say the contract is 200 days, right? The other 165 days of the year, right, I don't get paid for. Like, I don't get paid for Christmas or winter break, or I don't get paid for, the spring break that we just had or anything like that. But I do take my paycheck and allow them to split it over the course of the entire year so that I can budget. So they actually hold my money, and they earn interest off of my money because they're holding part of my paycheck from me with my permission so that I can get paid over the summer, right? And that allows me to be able to pay my bills without having to get another job. So, I do have to be kind of conscientious of what I'm spending, but I do know that 12 months out of the year I will get a paycheck. So I don't have to try to save, and if an emergency comes up and I don't have enough, something like that. Like I have something every month that I know is coming, which is nice. But I know some people think that, oh, well, you get paid for that week off. No, I don't. I just work the number of days of my contract and allow them to withhold my pay so that I can budget better for myself. Now, some teachers don't. Some teachers will take all of their pay in the 9.25 months that they work, and they save. They put their money in savings, or they get another job over the summer, or whatever it is that they do, right? But I made the choice when I started teaching, when my son was little, to make sure that I was getting paid even when I was not at work, because for me it helps to know that I'm going to have this amount coming every paycheck, so that I know I pay rent, I pay utilities, I pay my car, I pay whatever bills. I can buy groceries out of this check, but I have to pay rent with this check. How you budget everything. Right? So yeah, I'm done winding my yarn. I have it. It's right here. So I am going to go check on some of the meat that I have that's defrosting, so that I can cook something for dinner, and hopefully at least a couple of days this week. And then when I get paid next, I can hopefully this coming weekend I can actually prep for the next week, right? This week is just going to be take it by ear. We're going to be having some sandwiches, and yeah. I mean, I have a couple of things, right? Like I said, I was able to buy some stuff, but I'm not going to be able to fully meal prep like I usually do, which makes it for kind of a relaxing Sunday, but also kind of not, because I am worried about all of those things. But that's neither here nor there for you. I'm going to go and check on the meat that's defrosting, and then I'm going to go finish, well, maybe not finish the pillow, but finish at least one side of the pillow now that I have this done. And I've started the other side. I'm about, so I have about 10 rounds in on that side, and then I'll get to 20, because I'm supposed to do 24 rounds, and I got 20 with one and didn't have enough yarn to even go around another time. And then I was like, well, I'll just start the other side, and I started that, and I got about 10 rounds done, and then I haven't picked it up since. But that will all change now that I have this, and I've been talking to you guys for almost 40 minutes, and in that time I have broken my ball winder, tangled my yarn, untangled my yarn, and had a nice chat with you all. So, as always, I hope that you are well, and I hope that you're safe. And be the change you wish to see in the world, everyone. Ciao bella!